All right, guys, let's do a quick little video here on how to do a 3-wire control, but in structured text. So clearly we can see here that we've got ladder logic program here, in that we have our stop and start in series, and then we've got a system run in parallel with our start push button. So each of these instructions are looking for a 1. So the stop push button is normally closed, so it's already coming in as a 1. If I press this push button, you can see that it changes state there. So when I press it, it opens the contact. When I let it go, it closes the contact. So this one has a 1 in the memory, so it's true. It's waiting on me pressing the start push button, which will turn on my system run. My system run will then have 1 in the memory, and then I can let go of the start push button, and this will have logic continuity going towards my system run, keeping it on. In parallel with that, I have my conveyor being turned on, and I have both the start push button light, this guy right here, and the stack light green being turned on. Below in the second rung, if my system run is off, then my stop push button light, which is clearly seen being illuminated right now, and my stack light red right here are illuminated. So if I press the start push button, it will turn on system run, which turns on both of my green lights and turns off both of the red lights. If I hit the stop, then I clearly have control over the conveyor and both sets of lights, the red and the green there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a program that is controlling this, because at the moment, if I take a look at my main program, I'm not actually going to my ladder logic. So that ladder version that I had right here wasn't actually being called in my main routine. What's controlling it is my structured text program. So within the program, let's take a look at that. So let's maximize this here. So let's go to View and Controller Organizer. So at the moment I have my main routine. So my main program is here, main routine is here, and all I'm doing here is just jumping to a subroutine. That subroutine being my structured text version, which is right here. Okay, I also have a ladder version, but it's not being called in the main routine. So the only thing that's being called is this bad boy right here. Now, how did I create this ladder version and structured text version? All I did was I went to the main program, I right-clicked on it, and I added a new routine. And if it was a ladder diagram routine, then I chose ladder diagram. And for the structured text, I chose structured text. Okay, so I did both of those guys. I created a ladder version and then a structured text version, but I'm only calling the structured text version within my main routine. So when we go to compile, we will see that, like here I have system run, and in my ladder I also have system run. All right, so we're going to see that when we compile it, that it's going to give us a warning that we have, the same outputs or tags within both programs there. But in terms of errors, we shouldn't have any errors because we're only calling this one version here. Now, in terms of these tags right here, what I needed to do in order to get these names to come in, like start push button and start push button light and the roller conveyor, when I'm making use of Factor IO, and I go to File and Drivers, you can clearly see that they have Boolean 0, Boolean 1, Boolean 2. You've got to use those tags in order for Factor IO to talk to Studio 5000. And if I go to my controller tags, you can see that they're here. And I have the stop, push button, start, reset, e-stop. Those are there as my description. But if I'm doing the structured text, so let me go back to the structured text, and I put in, say, I think my start push button is here. Oh, I have to edit this. So that's one cool thing I want to show you first. Right now I'm still online with the PLC, so I want to edit that tag right there, right? Right now it's saying that it's a start push button, but it's an alias for Boolean 1, right? So, but I want to change that. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to Start Pending Routine Edits. Okay, that is the same as if I was doing my ladder version and being online, that I hit Enter, and I did a pending rung edit within my ladder logic there. There's all those things where we have all these warnings saying that we have the same tags within both programs there. But you can see that there's 0 errors. Okay, let's go back to our structured text. I'm clicking this, and now I can edit my my structured text program. So for this one, the start push button, we can see if we hover over it, is an alias for boolean1. So if I put in boolean1 and double click on that guy, then it doesn't give me a description, which sucks. If you look at the ladder version, for each of these guys, I have boolean0 and I've got a description, stop push button, boolean1 and start push button. But within the structured text, if you have an answer for this as to what I'm missing, it doesn't provide any of the descriptions for any of my tags. If I wanted to say that that was actually my my start push button, I'd have to put in something like this, where I have a bracket, then an asterisk, and then I could say that, okay, that's my start push button. Then an asterisk, and close that. And it's basically making a comment beside that tag there. But that for me got, a little bit too much redundancy there, and a little bit too much work throughout the program. So what I've done there, what I alluded to on the previous video, was I went to the controller tags. And for each of these guys, I have to go to edit tags. And for each boolean 0 through through to 15 that I was making use of, and my bool outs 0 through 7 that I was making use of, and don't forget your digital display to make use of as well. I right-clicked on each of those guys and created a new tag which aliases each of those bool ins or bool outs. And once I did that, I basically copied the description and put it in, and they all went to the bottom here. Okay, so here we can see all of my aliases here. So my start push button is right here, boolean1, and you can see that the start push button tag, or the start push button name for that tag, is now an alias for boolean1. Okay, so let's go back to our structured text version here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ladder version, I'm going to snap it to the side here. So I've grabbed it here, I'm going to hover over this portion here on the right hand side and let it go. And now I can have both programs where they're side by side. Okay, so let's take a look at this first one, guys. Okay, so let's take a look at this first rung here, guys. So I've got my stop here, then my start. Those guys are in series, so that's an AND circuit. And these guys are in parallel, so that's an OR circuit, ultimately controlling my sysrun. So here, what I've done is I've created two regions. So I've called a region here, so hashtag region system run, and then hashtag region stop push button late and red stack light. These guys are just, think of them as the equivalent as this rung. It's a way that I can organize my code. So that it's not all just one long instruction here. I can create these separate regions here. It's the same as creating a rung, or in Siemens TIA, like similar to creating like a network. Just helps me to organize my code. Okay, so in this first region here, and again, if I put hashtag region, I also have to put hashtag end region at the bottom here, just to close that up. And the next line here is just a comment. So these two backslashes here, they mean that there's a comment. The PLC is going to disregard that in terms of coding, but it provides me with the ability to put in a little comment for each of my regions there. So just saying that the start push button is going to enable my system run. Now for this one, here, I'm going to bring this back to my initial tag there. So that was my alias for the start push button. Okay, double clicking on this guy, beautiful. So you can keep one or the other. I like using the aliases. So in this case, we've created our first line of code here saying that if the start push button or the system run, so I started with this one here, if the start push button or the system run are true. Now you don't have to say are true or equal to 1 or anything like that. All you have to do is just state the start push button or system run or whatever input or output that you're looking for. And it just assumes that you're looking for a 1 there. Okay, so we're saying start push button or system run are a 1, and the stop push button is true. Okay, so as long as this is true, and this or this is true, then turn on your system run. So here I've got my system run being equivalent to 1. And don't forget that every line here, aside from this one right here where we had the then, every line has the semicolon at the back end here. Even at the end with the end if, you're going to need a semicolon there. Okay, so I'm saying that if the start push button or the system run and the stop push button are true, then turn on my system run, turn on the start push button light, turn on the stack light green light, and turn on my roller conveyor. Else, turn them all off. System run off, start push button light off, stack light green off, and then roller conveyor off. Obviously, there's various ways to do this. I'm just doing this in the most rudimentary way to start us off there. Now, if I created an if statement, then I have to close this up with an end if. Okay, and again, a semicolon there. So all this is just saying is that if the start or the system run is on and the stop push button is true, then turn on all of these bad boys right here. And if we take a look at the next region here, which corresponds to rung number 1, if the system run is off, then turn on the stop push button light and turn on the stack red light. So again, we created another region. We have an end region down here. We have an if statement. We're closing it up with an end if statement. We have an if statement. We're going to close that up with an end if. But this one here, we want the fact that the system run is not true. So this, if we just stated system run, we're assuming that it's true, or the program's assuming that it's true. To look for the presence of a 0 in the memory, then we're going to have to put not. So if not system run, then turn on my stop push button light and turn on my stack red light. Else, turn them both off. Okay, so you can see that it's just, rudimentary, just going through, and I've just picked out each one of these instructions and tried to mimic the code within my structured text. Now I made a couple changes here, so you can see that this is yellow, saying that there's been a change there. So I need to hover over here and finalize all my edits in the program. Then I'll go back online with that portion of the program. You'll see all of the warnings come in, and that I have multiple tags between the two of them, but we've got 0 errors, so we're good to go. Okay, the next thing to show you, which is super cool, is that you can monitor the status of all of your tags here with this guy. It's very similar to Siemens TIA, where you have the Corey Hart sunglasses in the top here. So this one's called Toggle Inline Value Display. And when I click on that guy, watch this. All of the statuses of all my bits come in. I think that's super cool here. So at the moment, my stop push button is true, which I can clearly see here. My system run is off, and my start push button is a 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this guy out, because this is actually not being called by my program. So I'm going to close this out. And let's put Factor.io and this program side by side. Beautiful. Okay, so now we can see that obviously system run is off, start push button light is off, the stack green light is off, and the roller conveyor is off. And we can see that the stop push button light is on and the stack light is on. We can clearly see here and here. Now when I press this push button, you will see that the start push button goes true, the stop push button is true. That will make our system run true. And if all these guys are a 1, then my system run will stay on. Okay, so we're doing that now. We'll hit the start push button, and you can see that all of these bits here are now a 1. And when I let go of that push button, then it stays as a 1, and the system run keeps running. And as more pallets arrive, hopefully they'll arrive soon. I must have changed the timing on that. Let's stop this for 2 seconds. Let's go stop, and let's change the timing of these guys. So we're going to bring this down to 2 and then bring this down to 0. Okay, let's press play again. Beautiful. And let's press play here. Nice. Okay, so here we can see that the conveyor is on. So we can see that all of these are now true. And obviously the red lights are off. So these are all zeros. And you can see here that my system run is coming in multiple places, showing the status of that bit. Super cool, eh? Excellent. Okay, so hopefully this gives you a starting point for structural text, guys. You might want to start off by creating regions to organize your code, making use of if statements, closing them off with end if. If you have kind of the opposite instructions, you can make use of else statements. Comments are 2 backslashes here. Or if we wanted to make a comment, again, if we wanted to edit this, we could start the pending routine edits. I could change this start push button to bool in 1. Again, that doesn't give me any information as to what boolean 1 is. So in order to make a comment on the side there, I can do a bracket, asterisk, and then put in start push button. Close that off with an asterisk, close that bracket, and then we're good to go. Finalize those edits. And we're up and running. So different ways that you can make your comments within your program there. And it's your decision whether you want to make use of working with Factor.io, using the bool in tags, or creating the aliases like we've done here for each of our start push button lights, stack lights, and roller conveyor. All right, guys, hopefully this helps. If you have a different way of doing this, then let me know in the comment section. The cool thing about the comment section is actually you can probably drop in your code to let us know exactly what changes that you would make in the logic here. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys and talk to you soon.